Hi, my name is Sara Grady, and I'm the South Shore Regional Coordinator for the Massachusetts Bay's National Estuary Program and Watershed Ecologist at the North and South Rivers Watershed Association. Today, we're going to be teaching you how to do volunteer herring counts. Today, we're here at the Monument River, also called the Borndale River or the Herring Pond River count location. And this is one of many locations along the South Shore and throughout Massachusetts where you can count herring. Now I'm going to go into more detail about how our herring counts are structured. Typically, we are counting herring from April 1st through May 31st. However, when we have a warm spring, sometimes we do start counting herring at the end of March. And there are some runs on the South Shore, those that tend to be a little bit more blueback dominated, that run until the middle of June. So the time frame during which you'll be doing your count depends on where you're doing your count. The way the counts are scheduled is that each day is divided into 3 4-hour time blocks: 7 a.m. to 11 a.m., 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., and 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. When you sign up for a herring count, you'll sign up for one of those 4-hour time blocks, and then you're responsible for counting for any 10 minutes within those 4 hours. So you don't have to count for 4 hours. You only count for 10 minutes. We typically would like to see our volunteers sign up for multiple time blocks each week because we're aiming for about 2 to 3 volunteer counts per time block, or about 6 to 9 counts per day. Now we're going to go through the procedure that you're going to follow when you get on site. The first thing you should do is find the thermometer that is at each site. That thermometer is going to be in the water, recording the water temperature. So pull it out of the water and write down the water temperature. Then leave the thermometer in a shady location so that it can acclimate to the air temperature while you're doing your 10-minute count. You're also going to want to make sure that you record the date and the start and end time of your count. Those start and end times should be 10 minutes apart because you're doing a 10-minute count. Then, watch your herring count location. In some places, this is a fish ladder, so you'll be watching the top of a fish ladder and counting fish as they pass the very top of the fish ladder. We also have some natural stream count locations, like this one behind me. In this case, you'll be watching the fish pass a certain point in the stream. In the case of this run, we typically use the stream gauge that's installed here as the point where we count the fish going by. At the end of your count, record that total for your 10 minutes in the herring count up column. An important thing to remember is that you might not see many fish, or any fish at all. It's very important to record your zeros on your data sheet because those zeros will help with the final calculation of the population. After your count is complete, try to estimate the number of fish that are downstream of the count location. If you're at a fish ladder, they'll typically be in the pool below the fish ladder, and you can use whatever estimating method you prefer. Use whatever method you might use to estimate jelly beans in a jar, for example. It doesn't have to be an exact count, but try to get as close as you can. Don't use words that are not numbers, like a lot or tons of fish. Your estimate of the number of fish that are gathered downstream should be entered in the comments field. You can also enter anything else that's interesting in the comments field. Some people like to observe fish that are being eaten by birds. Others like to note if there's the presence of eels. There may also be adult fish migrating downstream later in the season. The other thing you want to record at the end of your count is the air temperature. Remember that thermometer that you left in the shade? Pick it up, take a look, and see what the air temperature is.
Here right now is 40-something or other.
Some of the data that's needed to understand how well river herring are doing in our streams comes from volunteers like you. So you are important. The data that you're collecting is not just going into a folder and into a file cabinet. It's being sent to the State Division of Marine Fisheries. And from there, it's being used to make large-scale decisions about herring populations, both in Massachusetts as well as all along the Atlantic coast. There are many different places to count herring on the South Shore. I hope you will consider becoming a volunteer and getting involved with this important project. Thanks for listening, and good luck. Enjoy your spring.